folks. Again, it's JB, Creative Financing with JB. One more time, Tuesday, live and direct. We're coming in hard. We got Miss Piper Jones, Heart in the City. We got Miss LaRoya, a.k.a. Blondie, on Heart in the City, too. We're going to have a good conversation and stuff
I
and
can't hear
everything.
anything. If you can hear me, I can't hear anything.
Yeah, you probably have to come out and come back in and stuff. You probably have to come out and come back in. So folks, we're gonna have a good conversation.
I don't know what's going on.
Local
Let me
entrepreneurs
see.
that
Okay,
has
then.
been in the city, that has been doing some things, that has promoted the city. And guess what? They're gonna have a quick conversation tonight on what they do, why they doing it, and what happens when they start to do this stuff. But it's a great time for us to just, sit back, relax, know that entrepreneurship ain't easy, but it is something you have to do to be successful. It's something you have to promote and get ready to do, because guess what? If you don't do it, you're gonna be in the same way as you were in the beginning. Yeah, and we might have a little technical difficulties here, but we're gonna be all right. For it as we go through here, and we and and get this thing going. But folks, we just excited for it and get it done. I don't know if Miss Jones, you're on mute, Miss Jones, for it and everything. If you can go out and come back in, that'll be cool. And folks, just a little technical difficulties here. I don't know if she can hear me now, but she went out. Miss Leroy is here still. But folks, we just went around, and in the heart of Dover, as we start this 2030 project, it's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of folks out there doing some good business, doing some great things out there in the city. So what we had is I took it upon myself to go out here and say, hey, find these local businesses that are out here producing and talk about how they got there, how they reached that goal, and what they're doing right now. It looks like she's back on the block right there.
I'm
Uh,
back.
Miss Jones back on the block. So, Miss Jones, if you give us a little background of yourself and a little bit about Heart of the City and tell us where we're at.
Let me see. This is my first time doing this. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
My background really comes from both lived experience and passion. I've always had a heart for community, especially for youth and families who may not always have access to certain opportunities and resources. So between my experiences with organizing and serving and building relationships, I realized I didn't just want to help. I wanted to build something that could create a lasting impact. So
And that's perfect, folks. Everybody has a vision, but in entrepreneurship, you just got to live it. You just got to be able to do it. As you can see, Miss Piper, she went out there. She living it. Life experience. We all got life experiences. I know I got some life experience. She has it. Blondie LaRoya, aka, has them. But guess what? We don't limit ourselves to those life experiences. And Miss LaRoya, you want to comment on, how, your involvement in that Heart of the City and what that's about?
Oh, sure. So, kind of not like to piggyback off her, but it's kind of the same. That's how we kind of became partners. We both got like a passion for the same things, community being one, kids being one, just with the people. So, yeah, and it's like kind of like destiny for us. We were meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
let's listen to you. I love you too, Bonbon.
Ain't no girlfriend.
Yeah, boy, and stuff. And we're gonna ask some good questions about where did the name Heart of the City come from? I mean, you could be named anything, Golden Girls, Glamour Girls, catering for youth. Heart of the City. Where's that orchestrated from?
I think it came from representing exactly what we stand for, being the heartbeat of the community. I feel like no matter what part of the city you come from, everyone deserves loves and resources, and opportunities. So we wanted to make or to create a name that reflects compassion and connection, and a real presence within the community. So that's why we chose the name Heart of the City.
Heart of the City, and that's a good name. That heartbeat beats in the city. A lot of stuff happens in the city. And it can't go unignored. So what we do
Mm-mm.
is when we have those experiences, we put it back in there. We name stuff that's means something to us for it, and tell us a little bit about Dover. You know, what kind of
Bl-
city is Dover?
Blondie, I'm gonna let you take over there, baby.
Your question was what kind of city is dope? Kind of
Yeah,
city
what
is
is
Dover?
Dover? Yeah, tell us
Oh
some of their
wow.
challenges, their situations, where
Uh,
y'all come from.
um, Dover. So people like to kind of say Dover is, if you're not from Wilmington, they call everything below the bridge Dover. I don't look at it like that. Dover has a little bit of everything in a sense, but it's like it's more how in the city wise everything's all crammed together. Dover is a little more spaced out, a little more steady. But there are things that we lack, of course. Like a lot of resources. We lack a lot of resources for kids, for people who are in need. So that's where we're trying to come in at, to fill those voids. So we're trying to touch in on a little bit of everything. But Dover is not what everybody think Dover is. Like we are really um we're really people, okay? Because I'm getting tired of people saying, slower, lower. I get so mad. Because what do you mean by that? But
Slower,
no,
lower.
right. But like just like any other city or you know what I mean, wherever you're from, it's always going to be something. It's just where where you are and how you move.
Hmm. If you look at Dover now to when y'all grew up in it, how have it changed?
It's changed a lot. We used to have youth programs and
Yes,
things you can travel and do. We don't really have that no more. Like I feel crazy for my kids because they don't get to experience what we experienced growing up. Um,
that's true.
we have people pouring into the company, us to the company within the community, but it's not like it was growing up. Like we had drill teams, um, we was outside, we was playing. It's not nothing like that. It's
Mm,
nothing like that. We don't have creative spaces where you can be yourself and find yourself. So
wow. So
Right.
we're lacking.
is it like them block parties or riding a bike?
That too. Just being out, you know, being out within the community, doing things, visiting. I mean, you have certain things that you can attend, but everyone's skeptical. It's a lot of violence that's going on now, and a lot of people don't want to come together. People not supporting everybody. You choose who you want to support instead of just stepping out and doing it. So our kids, they're not really able to connect. Just by pulling up, giving out food and showing love. They love that. So it's just a lot of things that's being lacked around here nowadays.
Yeah, and that the our world and changed so much out here, to where growing up in a kid, I'm a New York City kid, so
Right.
growing up in there. And how you doing, Rob? Good to see you. But growing up in the city, we was outside. We was
Mm-hmm.
riding bikes, playing in the fire hydrants, doing stuff like that. And it was a village. It was a village that we had that we grew up around, and it seemed so comfortable that we had to behave regardless if we was in the house or outside of the house because other people
Mm-hmm.
was watching us. That's our auntie down there, which is our neighbor, probably not really an auntie, but it promoted us to build that relationship and camaraderie within the neighborhood. So with all that being said, what is the vision for Heart of the City? I mean, what do y'all see happening with it?
Blondie, you want me to do this? So you got this.
Go ahead.
Oh.
You
um,
you can start it off
I
and we'll
want to
just,
say, I feel like our vision is to build a strong, resourceful, and unified community. I see Harder City becoming a hub where people can come for support, growth, and resources, opportunities, whether that's through programs, community events, or outreach initiatives. Really long term, I want us to expand and partner with other organizations and really be a driving force for positivity and change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
that's good. And for it and something big, making that change costs money.
Can we talk about it?
It
Can we
costs
talk about
money.
it?
It costs time.
Yes,
Um,
it's a passion you have to have because everyone doesn't have it.
yeah,
Seriously.
and how do you get people engaged in that? Because that's gonna be probably the hardest thing for y'all.
Showing up, posting it, letting people know that we are here, that we are trying to do this. If you want to do, if I get a lot of people, dang Blondie, you sound like you slamming something back there, baby. I get
sorry,
people
I'm
that
sorry.
you're fine, love. I get people that watch us from afar, and they want to send in donations because they don't have the time to do it. So we get a lot of private DMs, we get a lot of people that donate because, they just don't have the time to do it, but they love what we're doing. We get a chance to like speak to people. We'll be doing our events as well. Um, and just tell them what we're doing. It's just a whole vibe we provide. I
Hmm.
just feel as though you have to show up and do the work. Just show it so people can get the message.
Yeah, and show up for our young folks and stuff, and
Yes.
they really need that in our communities now, and we need to be able to just reach out and get them where they're at, and kind of say, hey, we're here to support you. We it might not be perfect, but we want to make sure you have the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to have something. And what kind of programs do you think y'all would want to have
We're
in the
trying a
community?
summer program. Um, it's everything's about funding. I'm gonna be honest with you. We take from ourselves to give, but that's a
Hmm.
lot too. So we're really trying to have an after school program this upcoming school year.
Hmm.
Mm. Blondie, you wanted to say something, love?
Yeah, so not only like the after school programs, but we also want to have something kind of like when we were in school, we had like little, I guess little what do you call them? Like little, not meetings, but little programs. One for girls, one for boys. Kind of separate the two because these days you don't have no type of leadership in that. So we want to also do something like that, to learn some kids don't know manners. Some people, they don't know etiquette. They don't know a lot of things, or, get some men in there to teach some of these young men how to, do certain things, and get some, of us older women to teach these younger ladies how to be ladies, things like that. So we are looking to do something like that as well.
Wow, and that's good to be able to sacrifice time, and meet the parents. Talk
Yes.
to the parents and figure out, what's really going on. How can we improve our young people to, reach that next level and to really grow and have those friends and relationships in a community, which is so necessary these days. Somebody said if someone wanted to get in and contact to sponsor or request your services, how will they reach out to you and your company?
We have platforms, social media platforms, and we got a phone number as well. We have an email address
And
as
oh,
well. How
hmm
you doing, Nicole? We're at our emails are. of the city 1025 at gmail.com. We have an upcoming website that's in the making. Shout out to you, Mr. Johnny. Um,
And okay.
and okay. We have a phone number 302-943-1380. You can reach me directly. You ain't gotta go through no prompts. We're
Right.
here. We are available.
And sponsorship, folks, is important for our young folks. As we know that our community and our young folks, they're fighting some challenges right now, with the violence going on, with our economy. I mean, there's so many things have raised in costs and everything that have affected our young families. And, if they're not able to have those little ice cream socials, like y'all had an ice cream social. Tell us a little
Yes,
bit
we do.
about that.
You see that? You see that?
Yeah, we did.
We had an ice cream social. It just takes small things to make these kids happy. It don't take a lot. Just loving on them, letting them know we here, we showing up. I got this one child. I call him Baby Buddy. He let it eat. So I was like, "What you want to do?" He was like, "Can I get some treats?" I'm like, "Sure, you can dress them up and everything." So he told the whole neighborhood, and the whole neighborhood showed up, and we was here for him. So they keep asking. They want to do different things: kickball, basketball. We got a block party coming up. I believe it is July. It's 7/11, July 11th. Yes,
Hmm.
out to Capitol Green, formerly known as Capitol Green, Sussex Green, I should say. It's going to be a great time. Shout out to Tasha. She's hosting it. Nico Stratton also, he's hosting as well with Heart of the City. So we're trying to provide resources for the community. We're just trying to uplift and have a great time.
That is so neat to be able to have that. Growing up, we used to have block parties, which was our
Yes.
summer events. Block off the blocks, no cars there, basketball, rims of dodgeball, little food,
Hmm.
and all of that stuff. So I mean, that's great for the kids. To give them a summer
Yes. Yes,
for.
we're looking for donations for that as well. I can provide Tasha's information as well as ours as well. It's going to be a nice event. She's working very hard, very, very hard. So I just wanted to make sure I provided that information as well.
What is
If you
Tasha
can't
info?
donate, just show up. Tasha, I got it in my phone and I'm on my phone right now, but I can get it
Oh,
over to you.
okay.
Um, yes. So if you can't donate, it does not matter. Just come on out, mingle, enjoy yourself, just catch a vibe.
Yeah, what do you think our youth is really struggling with in that community that really needs
Resources,
resources?
resources. A lot of even our adults, they don't even know where to start at to get their credit and stuff taken care of. Like I come across a lot of people that want to change, their circumstances, but don't know where to begin. So I believe it should be workshops, just not for the children, but as the head of household as well.
Yeah, and that's important, folks. We have to teach our kids how to budget, how to save money, how to be able to spend accordingly. And guess what? And so they'll know how, when they earning money and get that job, what's the priority for it. How is it going to go about with us to be able to make ends meet for it? As you know, we see so much stuff happening in our world today, um,
Mm-hmm.
with the economy, gas, food, shelter, homelessness. And folks, I want to say homelessness is not just somebody on the street. But I tell folks, if you sleeping on somebody's couch, you are homeless.
Yes.
If you're going house to house with your clothes to have some place to live, that is homelessness that has to be addressed and stuff. And we're looking to look for any support that's going out. As Heart of the City, they're reaching out. They're even have catering events that they do and spending their own money, as you see. And guess what? We have to support that. That we cannot ignore that somebody else is in need, because that can be any one of our childs. That can be us any day. that we need that. So as we look
Mm-hmm.
at heart of the city, and we talking about the heart of the city, this is Dover, this is our capital that we're trying to rejuvenate and get back. Me and Miss Piper met at an event where they was talking about the 2030, and it was exciting for my part to see. And I had to let folks know that when people's building up our cities, don't think that we're going to be left out, folks. We're going to be a part of it. We have to plan for it. We have to do things so we can know what's happening out there and be orchestrated in those movements. And I was sharing with them at a couple of meetings we had that this is a time for us to put ourselves in a mode to focus on how we gonna fit into this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Dover has a 2030 change coming around, which I mean, it looks phenomenal, folks. It,
It
it it's
does.
gonna be, it's going to be a great opportunity. But if that's Miss Jones's, Miss Leroy's home, they should be a part of that. Of having their family have a stake in that new community that's coming up with the stores and the entrepreneurship that they're going to be able to supply to that community and people that come and visit because we struggle downtown a little bit with some
Yes.
resources that we need for our young folks, and folks want to know why are our young folks out here doing mischief and some things that's not right because they want to stay busy. They need to have their energy work in a manner that is towards
Oh
the positive
man.
for it and stuff, and it goes from there
And
for it. So you know. City of Dover is, it's very, very unique. It's on a rebuild of just growing again. It's on the path of just having those stores. It almost reminds me, if anybody, and Nicole probably can think about this. If you go back to New York and we had the Fordham Roads, or you was out in Brooklyn and you had those little stores that we walked down the street and we did our shopping at, and it was a little community. We ate a little food, and we had a good time. That's going to be the new Dover for it. As they talked about at that meeting we had, they they're going to have some affordable housing, which wasn't a lot, which wasn't a lot of affordable housing that they're going to have there. But guess what? We're going to have some to build that community up, and people's going to want to come there. If somebody's driving up from Wilmington and they want to stop, they're going to be able. We want them to stop in Dover, spend some money with some shopping and stuff, go to the beach and keep going, which is going to be what it's going to be about. But we're going to have entrepreneurs like Miss Piper and Blondie that's going to be out there, that's going to have their business to talk about what they're doing out there for these young people and in that community, and some of the catering that they do, that delicious food that they're going to serve to the community, which is going to be amazing. And Miss Jones, just tell us about some of that food that y'all
oh, you're
design.
gonna you're gonna get some of them creations on the 30th. I've been working on your customized order. Don't you worry.
And
We got a lot of good things coming up, tasteful things, delicious things. We're gonna blow your mind, presentation and all. So I'm excited for you to experience this love from Heart of the City.
yeah, and that's gonna be great because we supporting local vendors that's out here providing those resources, and folks, you have to reach out and support our local companies for our city to grow. How is our city going to grow if y'all don't take the time, understand what needs to be done, and sponsor it? Go out there and say, hey, here's something for our young folks, here's something for our kids, because the summer's coming up. And
Yes.
guess what happens in the summer? Our young people need something to do.
Mm-hmm.
So sponsoring, and almost like big brother, big sister, doing something for them, is gonna make it great. So my next question is, what is the biggest endeavor you have for Heart of the City?
Mm. Blondie, you want me to go or you wanna because I don't want to take over.
Take over.
No, no, you're fine. No, you can go ahead and you can start off, and I'll just chime in.
Okay,
It's
one
fine.
of our biggest endeavors right now is to build suitable programs and securing funding through grants and partnerships, so we can expand our reach. Um, we're focusing on creating consistent programming that truly impacts lives, not just one time, but ongoing support that people can depend on. Um, I believe that's our biggest endeavor as of right now.
And that's great for our young folks. We have to have that for them so they can grow. How do they grow? How do they exist? And Blondie, if you can't go, it's a little loud in the back, but yeah, for
Oh,
this,
I'm
I want to see your
for
face, Blondie.
yeah, yeah, we all want to see, but
I want to see that face.
we want them to know that our young people, we care about them. We cannot let them go ignored
Never.
without anything to do in that city for it. And how do we reach the people in the city? How do we get to the point of making sure that they know that they have some love, care, and some activities for them
A
for
conversation. I really
conversation.
think it's very, very important that we also include mental health as well. We need these kids to know that there is someone they can speak to. There are safe places.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think that's promoted enough. Wherever you feel safe, you will flourish and you can be yourself and gain the resources that you do need. So I think we need to focus on creating a safe space for these children, even for these adults as well. Life is lifing right now. You never know what someone is silently fighting. So I think that's very important as well.
You talk about that mental health. Do you think that's a big issue right now with our young folks?
I think so. I don't believe we talk enough. We don't talk enough. People don't sit down and even eat together like that no more.
Mm,
You don't get a chance to tap into your children's world to see what's going on. Everybody's just on the move chasing a dollar. And I mean, that's great, but that's not what it's all about. I believe health is very important. I believe talking and engaging with your loved ones is very important. Coming up with plans, goals, monthly goals. That's something that I do with my kids, weekly goals. We just tap in. Like, how are you feeling? What's going on? Who are your friends?
mhm,
What is
mhm,
some of your short time goals? Like, what do you want to accomplish for this week? I think those conversations need to be had. I think a lot of households lack that.
mhm, mhm. What do you think our community leaders are they active enough? You would say out there in the community.
I would say to a certain extent. Um, I feel as though you can always do more. You can always love on your community more. Whether it's
If,
your
if
personal community or the community, you can always love on them more.
if you had three things that you can ask our leaders to assist with, what would they be?
Be consistent. Don't just pop up here and there. Be consistent. Um, talk throughout the month, not just once a month. Create a space, whether it's a chat or a text, a text log or group. Connect. Let us know what you got going on. So you might be privy to some resources that I'm not privy to. That may help me with throughout my week, for someone that I may know. So if you have these resources, just tap in and provide it. You just never know what someone may need to get them through.
And do y'all see the leaders being more visible if in our communities today, or versus you growing up to today? How do you see the leadership change?
I think it was more personal back in the day. They would come and pick you up in their car, if you didn't have a ride. They would call your mom and let them know, hey, I want your child to be involved in this. I want to pick them up. Is that fine? I don't really see people stepping like they used to step. I don't really see boots on the ground like they used to have boots on the ground. I don't think that some of our leaders are being identified. They don't have to be a leader that's out there being shown. It can be your barber, let it be known that you're here. Like, let them know that
Mhm.
your presence is here. You're welcome here. So I just encourage people, like, it doesn't take much to get involved. Just let them know that you want to be involved, that you're willing to be involved. It's hard to identify a leader if you don't speak up.
Right. And heart of the city, how y'all gonna engage those leaders? I mean,
Mm.
what can you say to them and say, hey, we need y'all, you
Simply by
know?
just saying that, hey, listen, if you want to be involved, if you would love to be involved, step up, show
Hmm.
out, get connected. Let's do something. Let's collaborate. I believe by collaborating, you can reach more. I'm open to it all. I'm open to it
Right,
all.
right. And for our leaders out there, we just wanna just reiterate that we just need y'all support right now.
Hmm.
We're asking that our Dover community, heart of the cities, trying to save one kid at a time, um,
Yes.
and build up that community and bring it back. So guess what? Um, See how we can have some type of meeting to see where y'all can provide some assistance or see what the needs of our young people are. They're not perfect, they're still struggling a little bit, but all of our leaders out there, councilmen, we want to let y'all know that hey, we just need a little support, some direction, some avenues that we can be able to discuss something with our young kids. And as Ms. Jones said, having that conversation is so important to have with our folks. And having that conversation gives you the opportunity to just say, hey, you know what? We're reaching these kids. We're going to do something. We're going to change it out for what it is. They do have in the city there off of Lockerman, and Miss Jones, you can relate to this. They have like a youth. Is it an ice cream store or? Um,
Yes. That's going towards the west end of Lockman Street on the right side. I think it's right next door to Caribbean cuisine.
yes.
I'm excited because my teenage daughter, I believe she's going to be working with them this summer. So I'm excited for her with that. Please, you guys support their teams. They're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to be focused. They're trying to, obtain, a job and opportunities and stuff. Stop by and get some ice cream. Encourage them. Give them some encouraging words. Tell them that you're proud of them. Just stop by, be seen.
Hmm.
Show up.
How long have that been there? Is that a new facility or
I want to say it's been there for maybe about 2 years.
2 years?
I believe it has something to do, and don't quote me. I want to say something to do. I believe Neighborhood Partners created that avenue for those
Mhm.
children. So shout out to Neighborhood Partners over there. Y'all are doing excellent work.
Right, right. For and neighborhood partners, excellent resource folks for
Yes.
housing and community development. I was there at the center last Friday when DSU had their little happy hour, and they had a gentleman's class there talking to the young men and stuff, which was so encouraging to see that they were having a conversation about things they wanted to do. How can they be better out in this community? What are some of their struggles? What are some of their things that they face in that people don't want to know about? And they were open and honest, and I could say that is very good when you can get a child to be open and honest and tell you what they like, what their dislikes is out here for it, and is much needed for it in our community. And Ms. Jones, do y'all have any local events for like young women and girls and teens or?
I am trying to not me let me not say me and Blondie, there she goes. We're trying to get together a chat and chill. The name for that event is going to fall under beauty scars for our young ladies. We're trying to create a space for them too. to let them know, we all have scars. We just gotta see the beauty in the stories of them. We just want to create a safe space where they can come and gain what it is that they need to gain, whether it's resources, a mentor, direction. If they faith need to be more strong, we believe in that as well. So
Mhm.
we're trying to provide a space for our young ladies.
Right, and that's great. I mean, that's an excellent idea. So we can have that opportunity for them to know that somebody cares too for our young women as well. It's important, folks, that as our young folks they transition into their teen years, um, stuff changes with them. The thought process, their growth, their maturity, and they need somebody to lean on for.
Yes.
Heart of the City's trying to provide that for them and everything. And yeah, Miss Blondie, I'm gonna pick your brain right now with that, with the youth,
Mm-hmm.
with the youth in our city. What do you think is some of the major things we need to do to help with them with their development?
So one of the first things that I've learned growing up, because my house was always a safe space, safe house where they can feel comfortable. To be able to come, and it's like when they're comfortable and they feel like they can be heard is when they'll be able to relay like all the things they need or where they're lacking, and you build a relationship with them. So I think if we start there, making it seem like, oh, you're safe here, because there's a lot of places or people like, oh, you're safe here, and you're really not.
Hmm.
So if we can go ahead and allow them to become comfortable with us and allow us to let us in and let them know that we're here for you. So just let us know where you're lacking. Um, but a lot of things, like we said, they don't have a lot of leaders, like leaderships around. Like, how when we were growing up, it was like role models. We had a lot of role models, people we can look up to. The people they look up to aren't worth anything these days. So it's like we need positive role models. Um, so we can start there for one. I think they also need with their school. Oh my goodness, the schoolwork and the schooling that they have going on now is ridiculous. I do believe like they need some type of tutor or something else, because the teachers, I really seen it for myself. They hand them Chromebook things out, and that's pretty much what they're learning from, and they're using that, and the internet is, and it's crazy. The what was our failing grade back then was like a 70 or something. Their passing grade now is like a 54, I believe.
Wow.
So it's like it's dumbing the kids down. Like they're just like, all I need is a 54 to pass. I'm like, no, that's not it. Like, what are you learning? And they're like, they throw out packets and things like that. So we really need, different things to be teaching kids. Like I had to teach my kids cursive because, to stop teaching that in school as well.
Yes.
That is crazy. I was like, so you don't know how to write your signature? And they're like, no, we're going to learn. We're going to learn. So yeah, it's a lot of things like they don't teach no more, and like they're trying to cover up. So I think if we get some of those things and just allow the kids to tell us what they need, then we can be able to fulfill what they need, or try to
Yeah.
at least lead them the right way. You know what I'm
Wow. Yeah, we need those tutorships and tutors
saying? Mm-hmm.
and those folks to be able to lead them to that next step. When I
Exactly.
learned they wasn't doing cursive, I'm like, wow, everybody always have one of those books you buy and you did
Mm-hmm.
the A and you did the lowercase and stuff like that, which is good. But
Mm-hmm.
that's something that our young folks need to know how to do signatures. Um,
Yeah.
and once they start to do that, they start to grow from there and, and,
Mm-hmm.
and, and go to the next step.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's just some of the minor things. Like
yeah.
some kids, they don't know how to. How we were taught like different chores, like to cook, to clean, to do. They don't know how to do any of those type of things, like or real life things. When we were coming up in school, we had like classes like home ec and things like that, and things where they teach you like some kids don't even know how to use the ATM card. It's insane. Like they don't know anything. So it's like, what are they learning at home, and where are they lacking at home? Where are they lacking in school? We're trying to bridge the gap in a sense.
Right. And folks, Heart of the City, they're taking a chance to get out here to promote some programs that's going to help our young folks, our next generation of leaders, that's going to be able to lead us into the next century. And how do we do it if we don't have the time to take it to mentor, provide the guidance, provide the
Mm-hmm.
love, provide the direction that need to be had with them, and most of all,
Mm-hmm.
to encourage them to be
Right.
encouraged. We cannot, I want to emphasize, we cannot just beat our kids up over things they do wrong and not acknowledge the good that they do. Heart of the City
Mm-hmm.
is trying to develop these programs throughout the city to kind of give them some direction, give them some understanding of what it is, why this is like this, why you do these things. Why are we going out there and performing and working hard for you to have that? You know, um, Start to teach about college and tuition and scholarships. And I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago, and they said their goal is to have their kid write an essay. They're in high school. I think they're a junior. Every 2 weeks or every week, at least two, for a scholarship, so it can help pay for that college tuition.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do that. Critical thinking for our kids. For it,
Mm-hmm.
these are programs that we're talking about, and we're discussing with Heart of the Cities, and they're out there. They're ready to do the work to make sure that is a perfect step. So, and making sure that's a perfect step for them, they need your donations, they need your support, they need that conversation. If y'all see something that they missed, you know
Right.
have that talk. Say, hey, we noticed that the kids are struggling with this. Can you think y'all can do something like that if we find somebody to help
Mm-hmm.
y'all out for it, and get to have that with that for us. And I was asking Blondie, I was asking Piper that what would we expect from our leaders? And Nicole says, does anyone know the reason why they stopped teaching cursive in school? Nicole, that is a great
That's a
question.
good question.
For and
I
we,
have no
we
idea.
have we have a lot. Some folks was mentioned that when they had No Kid Left Behind, that was one of the things that kind of orchestrated that we can do without that here, and they can learn that on the way up or later. But cursive is important. Writing
It
checks,
is.
writing
Right.
checks, and all that.
Yeah, they don't kids don't even know how to do that. I remember coming up in school, we had like our own little banks and everything. Go there, we can have little savings accounts, and they taught us all those type of things along with my parents. My parents were also they taught me that as well. But it's just the fact of you getting to go. The more you know, it becomes repetitive. So it's like, oh, it's just second nature. By the time you become a full, not adult, but a young adult into adulthood.
Right,
So
right,
that cursive like that's one of the things, like if you don't have a signature, it's like what. Some of these kids, they just just write their name, and I'm just like, I can teach you if you're ready to learn, but so they look at mine like, what is this? I'm like, it's called a signature. That's what they're
right.
supposed to look like. So yeah, but I have no idea why they stopped doing that in school. Why they switched the math around, I don't know. It blows my mind because it's the simplest things, and I think they want to make it more confusing and more challenging for the kids, but it's not. It's kind of messing with their mental, because my
Yeah,
kids go through and they're like, when I teach them a way to, and they go back to school and they're like, it's right but it's wrong. I was like, what do you mean? Because you didn't do it this way. And I'm like, what? So yes, it's crazy. My sister, she's going to school now to be a teacher. She was like, the things I see is just insane. She was like, and yes, they do teach this. They teach you this in class. Is this how your lessons is going to be? Your lessons plans? And I'm like, it was so easy. We had, like I said, coming up, different villages and all the things that we were taught. Now it seems like the things that we were taught, some you can see, some people have deterred away from that. Some people
Mm-hmm.
they take their own way, which is fine. But if you want your children to be successful, you have to teach them as well. If you just let them go on about their way and like, oh, the school can handle it, the school can do this, and it's like, no, that's not going to work because they're not learning anything. And the school is just, like I said, throwing packets and Chromebooks at them and saying, pretty much, fend for yourself. If you got questions, I might be able to help.
Right,
So it's
right.
crazy. So we need those type of things out here to really, instill in these kids like, hey, it's more to life and more. You don't want to get out there when you get older and be like, I don't know what to do. Because right now, it's a lot of kids who don't know what to do as they're growing into adulthood. Like you said, with the scholarships and everything, I don't even know if they teach that anymore. Because we had things back then where it was like, oh, here's a practice essay for that
Mm-hmm.
or practice doing
Mm-hmm.
this. I don't even think they do that anymore. It's just like, oh, you got to fend for yourself. And so the kids are confused. And then some of the parents that get upset is because you don't know this. No, they
Mm-hmm.
don't. They want to be taught. They need to be taught. So we're just trying to fill in the gaps from between the household and the outside world. Just trying to make it make sense.
And that's all we want to do, make it make sense. And
Hmm.
folks, you hear Heart of the City, they're committed to helping our young folks out here to
Hmm.
reach that next step of the journey. um
Hmm.
Whatever it may look like for them. Every kid might not go to college, but to have
Right.
a, a work environment, to have some trades out here, to teach our young ladies the opportunity of, everybody's not meant to go to college, but teaching
That's
them
true.
something that can enhance their life to make a decent living, to be supportive
Hmm.
of themselves, for it. And we want to know, and we're gonna entrust Heart of the City to incorporate these things, but y'all gotta have conversations with them. Y'all have to reach out and have that discussion, so whoever's out there they know that they have an outlet where they can go to Miss Bucks or Miss Jones and say, "Hey, Miss Jones, my kids are struggling here. What resources or where can I go to get some assistance for this?" And they provide it. A lady told me Saturday, and I didn't even know, by the DMV they give out free car seats.
Oh
For
yeah, yeah.
you have to bring your child, and you can get a
Hmm.
car seat for your child out there. And I'm like, that's amazing, but nobody knows about these resources that's available for them. But as we encourage Heart of the Cities, I'm taking my hat off to them for taking this journey. The journey's not easy, but
Most
Hmm.
definitely.
we're entrusting that, through this and working with our community leaders, for it. If y'all had some, Ms. Bucks, if you had something to tell our community leaders right now of something that we're Heart of the City and we're going to make this change that they can support with, what would you tell them?
What I would tell them was to kind of look outside the box. You got to look at your nephews, or it starts within your own home, really, or your own, I say, family. So a lot of people be like, "Oh, well, that's not happening to me, so I'm not worried about it." But you got to think about it. What if it was happening to your nephew, your child, or something like that? Then you're going to reach out and try to see where you can get those resources. Where the people you're looking for. Um, just don't think that it won't happen to you, like you said before. I think one of you guys said that it won't
Yeah.
happen to you. It can happen
Mhm.
to you. Might you don't know, but I just want them to see and broaden their horizons. Like they'll reach out to people in other states, like, oh, they need when it's happening right here in your own state, and we see that a lot. So and it goes like I think Piper said. Um, is sometimes it's the who they want and who they choose to deal with instead of looking at the bigger picture. That's about the children and it's
Mhm.
about their future, the young people who don't have resources that everybody's screaming. They need resources when we're right here. We're right here.
Mhm. And stuff. And leaders, our city leaders, please hear us out. We're
Hmm.
to you. Um, heart of the city just wants support. They want your
Mm.
support on these endeavors in the city, of what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, and to meet the kids' needs. If y'all have
Mm.
something that the community's doing, let them know as well, because it's children that they might can incorporate for it. And
Right.
give us some of your events again, Miss Jones, again that y'all going to be doing. I know you said July 11th.
Yes, July
Mhm.
11th, we're having a block party out to Sussex Green Apartments, formerly known as Capitol Green. It'll take place on East Water Street, so that whole street will be blocked off. It's going to be vendors, resources, food, music,
Mm.
activities for the kids. It's going to be a great time. We're also trying to collab with our uh old neighborhood, which is Capitol Park. They have a Capitol Park Day as
Mhm.
well. That'll be taking place in August. I don't have the date, but as I do gain more information, I will provide it to the community. We have our chat and chill with beauty scars coming up next month. That's in June. We were going to try to throw a graduation party, but it didn't go through the way we
Yeah.
planned for our
Right.
graduates this year. And we're very, very proud of you all out there. If you are watching, y'all did
Mhm.
that. Y'all really did that. We're proud of
Mhm.
y'all. Shout out to the nurses this week too. It is Nurse Week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
Nurse Week. I got a couple friends and family that's nurses. So salute to y'all. I'm trying to think what else we have going on. We have our Mother's Day event that takes place Thursday, cupcake for my
Oh
cupcake.
yeah.
We have a mini Memorial Day barbecue for the kids on the
Like
22nd of this month.
yeah,
That's taking
the twenty
place
first.
at the 21st at
Mm.
416 Sussex Ave. That's South Sussex Green Apartments as well. We
Mhm.
love it on them kids because they love it and we love it as well.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think what else we got going on.
That's
Um,
Oh
amazing. That's a lot.
yeah. Oh,
yeah, I was saying yeah.
I wanted to shout out to the Coalition of Dover over
Hmm.
there. Y'all are doing great work.
Mhm.
Uh, Great work. I wanted to shout them out as well. Um, who else did I want to shout out?
And I want to say something with
I'm
the
trying to
Coalition of
think.
Dover.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
We really want to support the Coalition of Dover.
Yes.
They're going out here in the community. Brother Omar, brother Enrique, um, um, and the rest of the team down there. They're I mean they're giving food to the homeless.
Hmm.
They're talking to the homeless. I mean they're having reasonable meals. If you can stop by and support them.
Oh, and shout
Yeah,
out to Vondelier Smack. I love you. I
right,
love how
right.
you have
Mm.
everyone collab and how you show love. Shout out to my sister
Mm.
Smack. Yes.
Yeah, for it and
Mhm.
stuff, and she's out there in the community too, helping
Yes.
folks and talking to them, seeing what their needs
Mhm.
are, seeing how they're able to be uplifted. Because as they say, you should never look down on somebody unless you're picking them up. That's the only time we
Mm.
That
look.
is correct.
That's the time we're looking down. But we want to give a shout out to those folks out there in the city of Dover, because guess what? We're changing the whole atmosphere, the attitude, the positive. It's coming back. You see Heart of the City coming. You're going to see some other folks coming that's building their entrepreneurship down there. And guess what? We have to support them because,
When
like
you mention entrepreneurship, don't mean to cut you off. Shout out to Janaid. Um,
Janae,
my
Oh,
guy. I have to
Janae.
shout out to Janaid. I have to shout him out because he's definitely a pillar within the city. I can't not mention
Mhm.
Janaid.
and Janae
Mhm.
does a whole lot down there. He has Janae's barbershop down there, been barbering for 34 years, teaching folks entrepreneurship, teaching them to launch a program. Folks, you have to see that some of this stuff don't even go mention, you
Mm.
know,
Mhm.
and it needs to be mentioned that it's a lot of positive happening out there. But guess what? We're not talking about it, but we're gonna let people know where praises due, praises due. For it.
Yes.
And Janae's doing a great job out there running a barbershop, teaching. I mean, working the late nights, helping people build business plans, encouraging them and challenging them to make a
Yes.
difference, you know, for it. Miss Jones and Miss Leroy, they're part of that launcher and all that stuff that he done did
Yes.
out there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
it's great work to be able to build a company, folks, for and folks, this is not where you paying $3, $4, $5,000 to teach. This is reasonable learning,
Yes.
for to where it's affordable for everyone.
Yes.
For when you get down there, you just got to go down there, let him know ask him when the next class is, let him know what your
Hmm.
vision is, and guess
Yes. And
what?
shout out to my classmates because we graduate the 19th of this month. We
My-
did that.
They are graduates.
Congratulations.
Yeah, they are
Yes.
graduates from the launcher program. And how many's in your class, Miss Jones?
I want to say maybe 25. We start off with probably 35. It's 25 of us that succeeded.
Yeah, and folks, these are folks that's taking time out their busy schedules to go sit down and learn how to start a business, learn the marketing skills, building the LLC, your formation, being
Nonprofits.
resourceful, nonprofits. They are out there taking the time to learn this to make it to the next level. That's why when you see Heart of the City, this is not something that was designed overnight. It was
No.
a time period that they sat down and committed to make a difference and had that hard conversation. Is this a hobby or this a business? you
Hmm.
are we really about this? And are we going to remove all the hurt and anger and go forward, even though you're going to have those obstacles?
Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead.
You got to have those obstacles. So, but we're going to keep encouraging folks, and folks, create a financial with JB. That's what we out here to do. Provide resources. These are resources for you because I know somebody has children out there that's looking for stuff for them to do. Got Miss Bucks and Miss Jones out here. Hit them up. Say, hey, I got a kid X, Y, and Z. What's happening out here that we can include our children in, so they can be able to provide you some resources and stuff that's happening, and have that conversation. Miss Jones and Miss Bucks, if y'all want to have some last comments, some phone numbers, how they can reach out to you, please do so our audience can make sure they have that information and keep going.
Oh, good, good. So, well, we can start off with we do have a Facebook page right now, Heart of City Foundation. We're working on the other socials, like Instagram, TikTok. Like we said, our webpage is under construction right now, so that'll be soon come. Um, Piper, you did give the phone number, I believe, earlier, but can you
Three
give it
zero
again, please?
two 943 1380 is the direct line.
And folks,
Yes.
reach out, let them know what's going on. Don't forget you can call them and say, hey, I want to make a donation. Because
Hmm.
that's right. It's okay to do
Donations are
that.
welcome. Yes.
And folks, they're out here supporting our young people. Our young people can be doing anything but the right thing. But as we have Heart of the City focusing on making sure they do the right thing and do some things within the community that are positive,
Hmm.
don't ignore it. Until next week, folks, we had another great show. I appreciate Miss Bucks and Miss Jones coming on, having this conversation. But until next week, Creative Finances with JB, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again for the next show. Y'all
And
have a great
thank you, Johnny.
Thank